should we transition into Princess Quest 4 and its implication?
Sure. I do think although this conversation has been relevant, we have drifted a little bit away from the Abyss topic, so I think we should try to circle back a little bit.
No, but Princess Quest 4 I think is very much relevant to Abyss. That's my whole point.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
There is someone who is going down to find actually, like, you know, playing Princess Quest 4, you actually end up finding truly where the Mimic genuinely is, or where Glitch Trap truly is. And so then you end up defeating it, or Vanny ends up defeating it when you go down there, after you go into a sister location elevator with a Faz Wrench module.
Yep.
You go down, basically, and then get to Glitch Trap, right?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
You go down, it's basically the chronology is essentially you go down, and you know, before you go down, truly, you go into the sister location elevator. There is a sister location, or there's a Faz Wrench control module there, which is very interesting. And then
it's the same one from the trailer.
Big Vanny, yes. And you see, and that as well. Why is it in the trailer if it appears for 5 seconds? Like,
I want to emphasize something a little bit, actually. So when we get to the when the princess gives the player the ability to take out the monsters and everything, we are above right now, and then we keep going down. We somewhat light the torches of the MCI, which in some cases, if you believe Agony and all that, we free them, and then we go get to Glitch Trap. So if you want to count that as the blob or something, we defeat the blob and then go to the Mimic.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying, and that's something I want to that I find extremely interesting. Is what would end up defeating Glitch Trap, or at least significantly weakening it so it can ultimately be destroyed, is the fact that you reverse the memory plushies, or you light the memory plushies, essentially giving them like taking the memories and like making something good out of it, right? Well, that would imply that if we do that in real life, that would be all the memories of the MCI and DCI and all that good stuff in the blob, ending up weakening the Agony creature inside of it, empowering it, and therefore end up defeating Mimic by well.
Another thing to note is in the first Princess Quest, we light the torches. We light up the torches for the MCI in a different order. We'll get to that later. In order to progress to the Glitch Trap amalgamation. So lighting up the torches in the wrong way, I guess, frees the Glitch Trap thing.
Yes.
And also, there is a Nightmarion plushie up above.
Yeah.
Right. And this is one of the reasons why I decided, in our discussion the other day, that the reason why I think that the last one dead is Molten Freddy, because if we are like talking about Agony and a creature that is empowered by Agony, then the MSI, yes, would be dead, and there's only one left.
Well, and like I said, in terms of the 6 characters, we know Henry most likely died. Mike is alive, most likely.
Yeah. I want. But we talked about this. That's all. I just wanted to mention, like, that the reason why I think, like, if that blob really does seem to be MCI Agony, the whole point is we reverse it to end up destroying the entity that is controlling it.
We give them their... So maybe, in a sense, because the happiest day hasn't even happened, because Scott said it was complicated, so that means the happiest day could probably not have happened. Because
I think it has, but yeah.
Well, he said
a possibility.
He was talking about FNaF 3. He said the answer to which ending in FNaF 3 was canon was complicated. The way I interpret that is the bad ending was canon in FNaF 3 because Happiest Day didn't happen, but the good ending is canon overall because Happiest Day did happen eventually. Whether it's in FNaF 6 or not.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, like, because we know that Remnant splits apart souls pieces, and Remnant has to be pieced together in order to bring them to a whole new, like, to bring their senses back.
Yeah.
So Happiest Day cannot happen with the split souls until they're fully complete.
It can if like all of the pieces are in the same place, which I think is the point of FNaF 6, really.
Yeah.
It's like,
because if you think about it, like I said, the first time we use Princess Quest is we light the torches in a specific order that frees the glitch trap amalgamation, and then in Princess Quest 4, we do the order that we reversed it in order to not only get access to the glitch trap, but it most likely free the MCI. So this might mean that the MCI is still around in some case, because why do we light it up first in Princess Quest 1 to free the glitch trap amalgamation thing to take Golden Cassidy or whatever you want to believe, and then Princess Quest 4 is, oh, we take control of another person, reverse the damage done, and then go fight glitch trap in a sense, or the mimic.
Do you light them in the same order in Princess Quest 1 and Princess Quest 4?
You reverse it.
Well, because the one in front would like the one all the way on the left in Princess Quest 1 should be the Chica one, right? Because it's the only one that's aligned.
Yeah, if you I
Chica,
have to look at that order again, but
it's a single
I think
one.
You reverse it.
It's a single one.
I don't remember ever hearing about this.
It's a single one. Then there's a row of 3, and then there's a row of 2 at the back, which is the same arrangement as in Help Wanted 2.
Yeah.
And some of the graves are broken apart. Some of them have dots on them, which is exactly the same as the ones in Help Wanted 2. Yeah, they are the same shape. All of them are the same arrangement. So the front one, the one on the left on the first one, would be the Chica one because it's the only one alone. And then there's the row of 3, and you can tell like how it is there, right? So you do Chica first, and she's already lit in Princess Quest 1 when you get there, and then theoretically it should be the same order. Foxy is the one at the back. The order in Princess Quest 1 is bottom right, middle, then middle top, middle bottom, top right. And I'm pretty sure that is the exact order that you light them in Princess Quest. It's not reversed, it's the same.
Yeah, we had a really interesting talk about this, Alterra and I, the other day. The fact that you actually need someone who outside to play Princess Quest 4 because she's caught in a loop. Like, it regresses infinitely, because when you move her, she ends up going through a gate, which ends up seeing you playing, but she can't actually go there unless you play it. So therefore, it's like reverses infinitely. That's why she's caught in the loop.
It's not that we become the princesses, it's that the princess is like, here, you do it instead.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's something really interesting as to who I think the player is in 4, because the whole thing is...
Just one thing I want to say is that... You know how we talk about the Nightmare On plushies and how they're probably important? I'm pretty sure there's only one in all of Help Wanted 2, and it's in Princess Quest 4.
Mm-hmm. That is, yep, exactly. Exactly.
So Shadow Freddy, or whatever those things represent, are involved with Princess Quest, most likely.
Yeah.
Which is also interesting.
They're the glitch trap amalgamation. It's like a big black blob with screaming faces on it.
With tentacles! It has tentacles.
Exactly. Hence why I think Eleanor would empower the blob at the end.
Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking the blob probably is Shadow Freddy. That's probably my main belief now.
I mean, but like with all the Fed Agony MCI, Fed Agony of the MCI, basically, which is basically essentially the reason why we'll end up needing to defeat it in the future. And.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Krakoa, are you still on the order?
That's exactly why I think. Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the order. It says right here it's Chica, Foxy, Freddy, Bonnie, Golden Freddy, and the puppet.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to figure out what was the first one.
No, I know the first one. It's bottom right, middle top, middle bottom, top right. I've just memorized it. And that is the exact order.
Yeah, I'm gonna see for myself just in case. Because it could be.
I hope you understand that I am right.
If it is, then
Yeah, it is. It is. I remember. I am smart. Stop doubting me.
Hey, I can doubt.
You can.
I can doubt.
You can, but you're wrong.
I can doubt.
Stop doubting me.
I do find it a bit weird though if like we defeat the blob then the mimic and stuff, because that just feels like going for something gigantic to then scaling down.
Exactly.
and stuff. So I feel like, or
That's why I think the blob is a whole the final boss fight.
We defeat the mimic first. We defeat the surface level big bad of the modern era, and then the blob comes out, and that's when we get reveal like the secret big bad that's been.
Right.
I mean, that's exactly what happened in Frights.
But yeah, I mean, well, that's exactly where I want to go with that.
Yeah.
Because I think the fact that now we have Frights, and this I talked about this with Alterra, but I don't know if I'm talking about it with you, and I know Alterra doesn't like this. I have pointed out that, you know, because Frights has been decanonized essentially, right?
Yeah, like I originally
I'm pretty
thought...
sure, right? And well, I mean,
I originally didn't believe Stitchline games, so I thought that Frights was teasing what the security breach plot would end up being, and then I started believing Stitchline games, and then it got debunked, and now I'm back to believing that it's teasing security breach like plotline.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In Frights, you know, now that it has been basically decanonized, I am debating as to whether I think it was originally meant to be, but whatever, that's besides the point. The point is, I think, is Scott saw the problem with the two characters that just survived a fire dying in it 1 month later. And so I think that he wants to do that again, but in the games this time where it's actually a huge specific boss fight. But now we can see that William is the weak one. He's the one that dies super easily if Eleanor
doesn't always come back.
Well, he does, but he comes back as a weakling like he did in Frights, because once the entity leaves him,
he comes back as a little bitch.
He dies. Huh? Yeah, he does. He like fully dies basically. And so therefore, you know, and that's exactly what I do think is going to happen, because, you know, of the poster in Ticket for Fun, which and you know, that's what I think is going to happen now, considering that Frights is just no longer, and I mean, whether it ever was is another question, but it just is no longer part of the game timeline.
Like, I can see certain elements like Into the Pit like still being in the games, but like for the most part, like the actual full-on Stitchline story, it's not.
Well, I also there's actually something funny to point out there with its relation to the Ultimate Guide as well. The new one. In the Ultimate Guide, it makes a specific notice that there has been a frick ton of adaptations of Into the Pit, and it just outright, and Alterra showed me this. He showed me that it just outright says, it must be a really important story.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which, like, again, I think the reason why is because it's showing the true, actual, like, big strength behind everything that's going on in the modern era. Yes, the technology combined with the supernatural, which I feel like is a great way to tie two things together that make FNaF, at least at this point.
Foxy.
Yeah.
Are you still on the green?
What?
In regards to the whole thing about the memories and all, there's a few possibilities I see that's hinting towards with the time machine thing and stuff. We're gonna have the Vanny mask on, and we're gonna put it on when we're in like the underground locations, and we're gonna see like what they looked like when they were like fixed and stuff, which could be really cool.
That could
probably
be cool,
have that glitchy purple filter on it, but yeah, you see what I mean and stuff. Or it's just that we're gonna like travel, we're gonna get something if we actually go back into like a past memory and stuff, whether we alter it or not. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be really a fan of us like make alterations to the timeline and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
that would suck. But revisiting parts of the timeline, that's cool. Altering them, no.
Yeah,
that'd be stupid.
Okay, I'm cool with like altering the memory of them to make Happiest Day or in some form. That's fine. Altering the actual event, fuck that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that exactly. I feel like that's like its own meta like Pit style sort of thing. Just leave it there.
Yeah.
If we were to like at the very least go inside a memory of some sort, like a specific one in particular, what would that be? And it's like you could say, oh, it's gonna be the MCI, and I'm like, well, yeah, but that'd be boring in my opinion, since we've already done that like 5 times into the Pit at half
That's true.
to this point.
That's
DCI. DCI.
Prove it actually, dude. Do you know there's actually some people that are saying that it didn't happen at all now?
Yes,
I've been
because
to
they keep
camp on
neglecting
that,
it.
My
yeah.
gosh.
I actually entertained that idea for a little bit there because of just
I didn't.
how...
I didn't.
I know, I don't entertain it, but the reason why I entertain it is it's like, it doesn't show up anywhere.
One thing I do want to say, just a side note, related to what we were talking about earlier with the Didophobia alternate ending idea. It could be cool if like you actually do have to go there, but that you just can't put on the Vanny mask while you're there, because if you do, then the nightmares will appear or something like that. Because like the mask can like reveal certain things that were once there or weren't once there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or that are there now, right?
Yeah.
So like if
Well, you can't put on the mask anyway down below, unless you talk about the Fredbear cutout.
Yeah, I mean, so like there could be some areas where you just can put on the mask for whatever reason, and if you do in that area, then the nightmares will appear, and then that's what triggers the ending. So otherwise, you can't put it down. You can't put it on down there, or else you get that ending. That would be cool.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, like, if we were to travel to like a specific form or something, a specific like point in the past or whatever, and see something, like, what do you think that would be? And like, because like, there's a few possibilities. Again, you have just the boring one. That's the one we've done a bunch of times before.
boring one.
It is really the boring one. We've done it.
Yes,
once.
yeah.
I think it would be kind of cool seeing like Afton get Springlocked.
Yeah,
Finish
yeah.
it. Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I think that's the thing. There's the possibility that it could be an event we've seen before, which it would be cool to see it in like a 3D style, but at the same time, like, well, what? It's just an event we've seen before. Like, we've seen two different things of Charlie dying, but I think it would be cooler if we saw a event from the past that we haven't seen before, and it has like some sort of like lore reveal in it or whatever. Like some lore drop of some kind. And like there's a few possibilities just with all these elements that I think it could be. And that's either one, it's gonna show us some sort of tie between the mimics and something in sister location, and it's gonna show us like William doing some shit in the past like that or whatever with it. Like maybe something to do with the nightmare chambers and like some shit like that, especially with like the revelation of the Murray house being the FNaF 4 house and David's room and all that.
God, David.
Or alternatively, it's going to show us the moment that Shadow Freddy connected to the Mimic, which happened sometime before the events of Help Wanted years ago, and that's going to be like the big moment where it like reveals like how it happened and stuff like that.
So I checked the order. It is the same, but there is a difference. You light them in order to get the Bonnie mask. You can light them in any order to open the door.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
And? What's your point?
I'm just saying.
No, yeah, it is. It is to get the Bonnie mask specifically, yeah. Personally, I don't think the bite victim was the first victim, but I do think it would be cool if he was. That it would be cool if it would be cool if the memory that you are going back to could actually be the bite of 83, and it could just be basically it could basically just be happiest day itself. It's like stopping the bite from happening in this memory and then letting him have his happy birthday, right? Now,
dude, that'd be sick.
We have seen that in like happiest day, right? But like it would be cool to actually have that be a scene like itself and like actually
Return
creating
to the pit.
it. And it does work, kind of. But like, it does work without the bite victim being the first victim, because like you could still have like Charlie had died already, but like then, but like you're still preventing the rest of the series from happening. But still, like I think that works, just not quite as well, but it still would, you know.
I mean, that would probably be one of the coolest memories to go to if it is one we've already seen before. The bite of 83 would be a pretty cool one. Is that now in terms of like reversing what happens in it? I don't know if I want to do that.
I wonder.
It's like,
I mean, again, it wouldn't be literally reversing it. It would just be like fixing the memory.
Well, I think
you know what would be interesting to me? What would be really interesting to me would be if in that memory you play as Michael, and instead of going to scare the bite victim, you go over to him and just like hang out with him. Just like comfort him and just like be there for his birthday. That would be cool.
I would say that, if I didn't already think the bite victim had moved on at this point, and it says, but that's just where we're gonna like have to disagree on certain stuff.
Well, I mean, did Shadow Freddy / the entity? I mean, we're calling it the entity because it really encompasses.
I mean, yeah, and there's
Yeah.
debate if he even had the agony from the bite of any 3 in him at all. To begin
Exactly,
with.
because
Yeah.
I mean, because the thing. I mean, exactly, because
Yeah.
it would have to be the case that
Yeah,
he would
yeah,
exist
it's-
before the bite, which
Yeah, exactly.
is a massive
It-
problem.
Yeah. No, that doesn't really work.
You know how like Henry infused his agony into the Ella doll, and therefore it somewhat came to life, even in 1:35 a.m. in a sense. Well,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Thinking about that, if you think about it, could it do that with the Freddy that's walking around and slowing down? Because why else would it be just called Shadow Freddy? Shouldn't it just be called like Golden Shadow?
What?
Okay.
You mean like when Freddy like slows down when Charlotte is dying?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was emphasizing that maybe because, especially if the FNaF 6 location isn't Fredbear's, which for some reason people think it isn't, which I kind of get. But
I mean, I think it's fine to
the
think it's
Freddy-
not. I just personally do think it is.
the Freddy has like a shadow variant of
Right,
himself,
yeah, okay.
like blocking the view. So I'm thinking, okay, if it isn't Fredbear, and if it's just regular Freddy, then that would mean that this Take Cake to the Children minigame was what incorporated made Shadow Freddy.
I mean, I do actually believe that Charlotte's death is what created Shadow Freddy, so I do think he can, and I believe Charlotte died before the bite victim, so I do think that he could have existed before the bite.
Well,
And-
also, like I said, there's one thing that's important to note is Henry infused his emotions into a animatronic. So, well, not animatronic, the Ella doll or whatever.
The doll.
Yeah.
And Toby beat the living shit out of the hide and seek thing, and because it's a Shadow
yeah.
Bonnie variant, it was the version of the toy, but it was a monstrous form. So
Mhm.
taking that into consideration,
It was like a cardboard cutout.
and then
but yeah.
add that to the fact that you can say the sprites are inconsistent. I get it. I completely get it. But Follow Me has one little premise that Shadow Freddy is luring, obviously, the animatronics, but it looks like the Freddy that you were using in the beginning.
Yeah, I personally think that Shadow Freddy is tied to Golden Freddy in terms of his appearance. Personally, I believe that Shadow Freddy was created from Charlotte's death, which you guys can disagree with if you want. That's just my personal
I
belief.
think
I wish I
was
so wish I
created.
could continue. I so wish I could continue believing that. But the reason why I believe that so strongly was because of the fact that the continuous connections between Shadow Freddy and Fredbear were like unavoidable. And then it stopped being the case because Charlotte didn't die Fredbear's. So I'm like, well, that's not really a point in my favor anymore. So I
See-
kind of just realized,
See, I have the thing is, in the FNaF 3 phone calls, Phone Guy talks about how there are still Springlock suits at Freddy's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those Springlock suits are still Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, which we know because Golden Freddy and Fredbear are slightly, like, they're the same character, but they're different animatronics. They're two different characters, one of them from Freddy's, one of them from Fredbear's. And Spring Bonnie also exists at both, because the Spring Bonnie that was used in the Missing Children incident and the same one that becomes Springtrap is the one from Freddy's, not the one from Fredbear's. They're two different ones.
So you think
that means
the Freddy that's moving is the Golden Freddy, that it's still Golden Freddy.
what I'm saying is that Golden Freddy and Spring Bonnie existed at Freddy's even while Fredbear's still was open. They're two different sets of animatronics, and they're at both restaurants. So Shadow Freddy, the fact that he's designed like withered Golden Freddy in FNaF 2 implies that he's tied to that Golden Freddy and not the Fredbear's Fredbear, if that makes sense.
Wait. You just got me thinking a little bit. So, because we all believed that it was Fredbear's at one point, but now that's unconfirmed. So, if the Golden Freddy is like what we see in FNaF 6, and that's why Shadow Freddy spawns there is one little thing that I should note, and you can say it's Fredbear's or not, I don't care. Stage 01 most likely could be Freddy's.
No.
I think
I don't believe that.
I think it's based on the memory of Fredbear's, but like I'm fine with it representing Freddy's, but it's still like the memory that the bite victim has of Fredbear's. I'd say.
It says Fredbear makes an appearance in 3.
Yeah,
in the character encyclopedia.
Again, I will say, Fredbear and Spring Bonnie existed at Freddy's, and you can't really deny that. Like Phone Guy straight up says it. It's just a matter of whether you believe those two versions of the characters are important or not. I personally do, because, like I said, Spring Bonnie is the one that becomes Springtrap, and the Fredbear is the one that becomes Golden Freddy, separate from the ones from Fredbear's. And because of that, Shadow Freddy's design is linked with the Golden Freddy from Freddy's. Now, I'm not saying that Shadow Freddy isn't connected to the bite at all. I do think that he does feed off agony from the bite, but I think that his general appearance is tied to Freddy's Golden Freddy. So the fact that Golden Freddy in FNAF 2 is Withered Golden Freddy, Shadow Freddy looks exactly like him. In FNAF 1, Golden Freddy is designed like regular Freddy, and then Shadow Freddy is also designed like regular Golden Freddy. So what you're talking about, the Shadow Freddy in FNAF 6, it is designed exactly like the Freddy's also in that minigame. And at that point in the timeline, Golden Freddy would also theoretically look like that version of Freddy. So it still matches up perfectly well, and Shadow Freddy for Shadow Freddy's design still matches regular Freddy, but it's not supposed to match him, it's supposed to match Golden Freddy, who has the same design as regular Freddy.
So do you think that Midnight Motorist could still have, like, theoretically Shadow Freddy around if it's after Charlotte's death, which seems to be the case?
Personally, yes, I would say so.
Should we talk about who we think the player of Abyss is?
Sure.
Sure.
I have my opinion. And my opinion is strong, but
okay. I have this one idea about a future FNAF game, whether it's Abyss or not. This is an idea I've had before. I've brought it up to you guys, and with our Abyss conversations, I thought I'd bring it up just in case Abyss actually is this project. Because technically we don't know that Abyss is a part of the name at all. We only associate it with that because of the Into the Abyss reference, which is just named after the song. So it might not have anything to do with the title at all.
It's from the poem.
Well, yeah, but it's also from the it's also from the song Gracefully Into the Abyss, which Leon Riskin is like drawing quite a bit of attention to.
Huh. I didn't know it was a song. I thought it was just a poem.
My point is, it might not be called Abyss at all. That might not be part of the title at all. It could be a completely different project. And although it seems like it is, it might not have anything to do with Ruin either. But I doubt that strongly. But
definitely does.
in Ruin itself, we have the Brazil ending, right? Where Cassie ends up putting on the mask, and she seems to get taken over by the Mimic. I've had this idea for a little while that maybe when that happens, she ends up, like, kind of becoming the new Vanny in a way. But I don't really know about that. Something I brought up to you, Sandwich Man, before, I think Alterra was there, I don't know about anybody else, but I mentioned how there's a pattern with the FNAF games recently. It might not be intentional, but it's just something I've noticed. Back in 2019, we got Help Wanted. Then 2021, 2 years later, Security Breach. That's the main big release. Then 2 years after that, 4 years after the first one, we get Help Wanted 2. And then 2 years after that, 4 years after the last big release, we got Secret of the Mimic. So if the pattern were to be continued, then 2027 we would get Help Wanted 3. Now, there might... Calm down, shut the fuck up.
Keep going.
Theoretically, we could get a Help Wanted 3 in 2027. Now, what it would be about? Good ass question. Good ass question. But the thing is, Help Wanted 1 and 2 were similar, but not the same. Help Wanted 1 was beta testing a video game. Help Wanted 2 was a employee training simulation. Yeah. The two Help Wanteds are different, I guess, concepts, but they're still the same concept. of someone going through a bunch of different mini games in order to
in a
do
digital
something.
simulation of some kind.
In like some not real reality. So one idea I had about what a Help Wanted 3 could do was, what if it, and hear me out on this, what if it had something to do with the ball pit too, where it was, where its mini games were literally you going to different eras of the timeline and performing mini games in those different eras.
Oh no!
The idea is that each of the memories, like how we're talking about going through different memories, those memories are mini games with like literal mini games within a Help Wanted 3. Now, again, this is not something that I'm saying I believe will happen. It's just like an idea that I had that I wanted to bring up because we've been having this whole conversation about like going back through different memories using the ball pit, and I think if there was a Help Wanted 3, using the ball pit could actually be like a really interesting like method if going through memories didn't end up being something with the blob or Shadow Freddy or whatever.
Yeah.
If that isn't what they're doing, then using the ball pit for that would be an interesting concept. It could also be that when Cassie gets taken over in the Brazil ending, this is why I brought that up before, it could also be that when she gets taken over, she ends up like in the Vanny network and has to do mini games in order to like kind of free herself from the mimic in a way. That has like less potential, I would say, but it would still be kind of interesting, so that like a Help Wanted 3 following like the Brazil ending and trying to get her to like trying to get her freed. But now with Abyss, it seems like the elevator ending is canon, right? So that idea probably wouldn't work unless in Abyss she ends up still putting on the mask and still gets taken over, which would be a little lame, but like could be possible.
It would basically be, okay, we're just gonna repeat Vanessa.
Exactly. Now. That's why I kind of hope we don't get Cassie doesn't turn into another Vanny.
Yeah, it's basically just Princess Quest again.
Exactly. We literally just did this plot point and stuff. Do we need to do it again? It's like, because I'm just gonna be honest. I'm sorry here, but I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna be able to take seriously a 12-year-old girl chasing after us.
That's just a bunch of. That's just a few ideas that I had, which I don't really hope that they are true, and I don't really think that they're going to be true. It's just It's just interesting thoughts that I had that I think could theoretically maybe happen at some point, but probably not. I just thought it was.
I think there is going to be memories involved. That's what I think.
I just thought even if it's not the best idea, it's definitely worth mentioning and worth considering.
I know this is like random, so like we don't have to, it's pretty off topic, so we could just like answer it and then quickly move on. Do you guys think that Cassie's name was theory bait?
Potentially.
I wouldn't say it's like I think it could still mean something, like the connection. Like one thing I've talked about in videos before is like the very heavy like sun and moon connections with Vanny and Vanessa, because in Ruin it's revealed that the Princess Quest ending was canon. That's the ending where Vanny's split personality was destroyed. And then in Ruin itself, where the Princess Quest ending is canon, Sun and Moon have their split personality also destroyed. And in both of these, in both Princess Quest and in Ruin, that action is done by someone. Well, in Princess Quest, it's done by someone named Cassidy. In Ruin, it's done by someone named Cassie. It seems like it's definitely meant to be a connection. Something else that, you guys know Gibby's Horror Homestead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was literally mentioned in the theory recently.
Yeah. One idea that he mentioned about Ruin was how in the Bonnie Bowl section, you go over to Glamrock Bonnie's corpse. You see 4 wet floor bots around him, and he's just lying on the ground. And you are the fifth observer watching his death, basically. And then and your name is Cassie, obviously. And then if you go back to FNaF 3, you see Afton getting springlocked, him dying with the 4 missing kids, and then you, the player, are Cassidy, and you are the 5th observer to Afton's death. So it's like kind of a parallel within like rabbit characters dying and being watched by 5 characters, one of which is the protagonist, basically, or the player character.
Huh.
So I think that Cassie being named Cassie is probably something. I don't think it's like she's literally meant to be like a recreation of Cassidy or anything like that. I think it's just like, I don't think that's the case. I think it's just that she's there probably for like thematic parallels or like stand-ins to create thematic parallels in certain ways.
Maybe, I mean, it's just like she has very little connection. I feel like it's just theory bait. Anyway, that was so random. I apologize for diverting the topic, but I really did want to just
all
mention
good.
that.
Don't worry about it. You guys are making me yap too much. I want you guys to talk more.
Yeah, who do you guys... I keep going back to this. Who do you guys think we're playing as in Abyss?
I'll let one of the other two go first. I'll go last.
A few things. One, I think we're either playing as Cassie yourself, going down there. We're either playing as Gregory. There's a few options. Gregory or Vanessa could be one of the people who wants to help. Could be going up there, or alternatively, and this is kind of just would segue into an entirely other topic entirely, and that's whoever the person they bleeped out that Gregory like said knew the on location or something.
Yes, and who do you guys think that is?
Oh God.
I'm not gonna give a call on who that is.
Okay.
Why? Unmutes for 2 seconds just to say Michael.
You're just not gonna disclose who that is.
We're talking about the person that knows that has access to the building maps, right?
Yes.
I kind of always just thought that was Vanessa, but I'm definitely open to it being someone else because I don't know why she would have those maps.
Here's what I'm here's my personal vendetta against that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why, if it's just like, just follow instructions, why would they bleep out? Why not for him just say follow her instructions? If he said follow her instructions, we would all agree that it would be Vanessa, unless you're 2019 me who thinks everything is Elizabeth. But if it's Vanessa, why on earth are they bleeping her name out? Like, it's literally just follow her instructions. Like, come on. Like, they bleep it out for a very important reason. They allude to this in the interview with John's interview with the Steel director. So it has to be someone very ambiguous for very good reason. I mean, it could be Edwin, but like, there's reasons why I don't think it's Edwin.
He's like 100.
He would be a pile of dust.
If he's even alive.
He's real old, and that's even just assuming he's alive. There's way too many hoops you have to assume that it's Edwin. And so, who does that leave? Leaves you with Glamrock Freddy, who I don't even know what's going on with Glamrock Freddy, but I presume he's probably dead. He might have his head.
His head.
Well,
yeah.
but also like
he could definitely have the maps in his head.
I mean, he could, but he's like follow his instructions. Like,
well, if it was Freddy, then why just bleep out his instructions instead of the hiding? I'm like, well, under that logic, it says that why bleep out him or her? Well, then what else is he gonna say if it's not a he they're bleeping out and it's not a her they're bleeping out?
No. If he no, what I'm trying to say is if he said follow her instructions, then we would all know who it is, right? If he said follow his instructions, we have a few more options, right? So that's why I feel like him bleeping it out.
I think people just assume it's Vanessa. So if it's a dude, then saying his would immediately disprove that.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's that, but I also think the other reason is like if you say him, then there's potentially quite a few different options.
People aren't gonna automatically assume it's Freddy's head.
Yeah.
True.
It would make sense for him to have the building maps in all fairness, though.
Not that deep, though. I don't feel like
if anybody was going to. That we know already.
I mean, at this point existing, yes.
Yeah.
So this is why it logically leads me to conclude that it's a character who is very important, yet, we haven't really fully seen yet. But also, if he's very important and, like, you're the most likely to survive from FNaF 6, it would be Michael Afton, who would actually be helping them. So that's why I think it's Mike. And multiple people agree. Like, even Ollie agrees. She literally just said it. Demolition Inevitable, when talking about Abyss, I feel like that's not a coincidence. Demolition Inevitable is not just a casual Sister Location song. It is the Mike theme. And there's a reason why so many people... Yeah. So there's a reason why so many people are going, oh my goodness, like, it's Mike. Like, all stand up for Michael Afton and stuff like that, right? Like, in the X comments. Because there's very... Like, that is the one song that's like, we all know exactly what that's referencing.
Yeah, like,
Father,
Mike
it starts with... it.
One.
Well, it starts with Father, it's me, Michael. Like, that's literally as blatant as it gets. So, I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people, more people than you think, actually want Mike to return. Of all old characters people want back, Mike is the top candidate for a lot of people. And this is why I think, like, I don't think Scott is just oblivious to it. I think he's like, you know what? If there's anyone who's the most likely to survive, it would be him, who literally has an escape plan right in front of him.
I get the whole thing of like there's a way out plan for him. I also think it could just be like maybe he literally just didn't die from the fire, depending on like what the outcome of the fire itself was.
I should be dead, but I'm not. Good point.
I mean, yeah, but like,
Remnant.
I was thinking like, obviously the plot of FNaF 6 is Remnant burning in fire. I feel like it might be that the Remnant itself doesn't burn, but I mean like it can be damaged, right? But like I could see it being that the spirits being set free is dependent on the spirits themselves. So if in Ultimate Custom Night, some of the spirits are like held back, like we see that Charlotte is very aware in it, so she might actually, it might be her spirit that's actually in it, right? So I could see it being that Ultimate Custom Night held some of the spirits back, so the Remnant wasn't literally destroyed immediately by the fire. And I could see it being that although the spirits might have gotten set free from Happiest Day, if they didn't die from the fire, then the Remnant would still be intact in Michael, so he would have survived the fire, even if the spirits did get set free afterwards.
Right.
That's not like definitive, that's just like an idea of how it could work. But I think it kind of does make sense. Like if you don't want to say, because like I could understand the argument that like, oh, there was a way out planned for you, but I didn't go through with it, so there actually is no way out. Like I could see that being a thing, and it just being that Michael survived in general.
I also think that is possible. I think the one big flaw with Henry's quote unquote, I mean, you could argue many flaws, but a big flaw I feel like with Henry's plan
many flaws.
was assuming that Michael would not want to stay around to make sure that all this stuff never happened again.
I feel like it's weird that Henry was so confident in his plan, and he was like, I'll kill myself in the process.
I mean,
so that I have no
literally
idea.
Stupid.
It's like,
seriously.
Oh my god.
he has no confirmation that this will work, and he burns. Okay, listen, it comes back to the whole Henry is a clown thing. Henry saw two characters burn in a fire, survive, and then was like, okay, I'll burn those same two characters again. It'll work this time, guys, trust me.
Literally, in Frights, it didn't even work.
It didn't, yeah.
That's the thing.
So, like the
Scott
fact
realized that was dumb.
The fact that he does that, okay, I'm fine with him doing that. I'm not fine with him killing himself in the process, so he doesn't know if it actually worked, even because there was no confirmation that it would work. I feel like he should have stayed alive to make sure that it did work before he killed himself with it. Exactly. You know?
Good point.
So it's like,
good point.
That's my main. That's my biggest problem with Henry's plan. Now, if you want to say the plan just like didn't work, or that it was like a flawed plan in general, I don't care that it was a flawed plan. Like, if you wanted to try it, by all means go for it, buddy. I just don't like that he decided that he should die in the process, so he can't see if it worked.
Result of his plan.
Yeah, and it's not like he has. It's not
poured acid at this point.
I mean,
it's
I really
not like
think that
he has remnant in him. He doesn't have remnant in him.
He just wanted to die.
He doesn't.
Genuinely, yeah.
He doesn't have. He doesn't have remnant in him, so he isn't required for the plan. So he could just sit it out and then wait to see if it worked, and then kill himself after. You know, like him being a part of the fire is just stupid. My point.
Was he really, or did he just commit suicide after and did not burn him? Because burning it yourself kind of hurts. So I feel like he might have just like.
I'm pretty sure it's the most painful human experience possible.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So like, if Henry did kill himself, which he did.
So he's like stupid.
I feel like he genuinely,
basically.
yeah. When he said this ends for all of us in communication, he shoots himself in the mouth.
Yeah.
That's my headcanon.
I would hope. Well, I wouldn't hope, but like, you know.
It's like, you guys, I'm gonna burn Michael in like the most painful way to die, but I'm just gonna die with a gun.
Michael gets to fucking burn. I get to die peacefully, guys.
What I'm saying is there's a lot of reasons to keep at least one of the characters around, and Michael has the highest like reasons and evidence towards it.
My point in bringing up Henry's stupid plan is that he should have stayed back and waited to see if it worked. The fact that he doesn't, I feel like it makes sense that if Michael did survive, even if he wanted to die, it would make sense that he would stick around to make sure that nothing bad happened again. And
that's
the
what we
fact
call
that it
old
does
geezer syndrome.
The fact that it does happen again means that he would probably still stick around so that he could see what's happening and try to fix it if he can. That's my point.
If he stuck around and realized, oh wait, so he's gonna like, I don't know, try something else.
Yeah, he's like, ah, shit, this motherfucker was being dumb. Plan didn't work. I guess I gotta deal with this shit now.
But here's the thing, you are so right with the whole, oh yeah, I just saw them survive a fire, let's try it again and see and hope it works.
Yeah.
Like, if we frame it that way, I think Scott saw that. This is why I get back to I think Scott saw that too, and therefore the two characters he actually keeps alive in the Frights series are the two that just survived a fire.
Realistically, I think Henry's plan was the remnant will burn away if it's all in the same place. I get that part. And I get him being like, okay, even though these guys did survive the fire, maybe it will work if they're all together. I'm fine with that being the plan. I'm still just not fine with him killing himself in the process, because, again, that's a theory. There's no confirmation. It says in the Scooper blueprints that Remnant may be destroyed in fire. It doesn't say it will be. So the fact that he just lets himself die and doesn't wait to see if his plan worked, that's the problem. If he does the plan, fine. By all means. Kill yourself in the process and not see if it worked, that's dumb. Because then you're just letting them stick around.
Yeah.
And I don't even feel like he even knew about the fact that just because there's Remnant that exists doesn't mean that there's also a spirit that is also not related to Remnant in a sense, because the spirit attached to William wasn't due to Remnant injection, I don't think, at least. It was like actively spirit who haunted him. Yeah. So the fact that a spirit was haunting him, keeping him alive, is the reason as to why he didn't die. Not because the Remnant didn't burn. Sure, the Remnant might have burned away, hence why Molten Freddy's dead, hence why the puppet's dead, or something like that. Maybe that does work. You know what doesn't? A spirit. Like, a spirit isn't affected by outside means unless you do something internally to the spirit that allows it to feel better, basically.
To be fair, I'm not sure Henry would know about that. Like, he could just
That's exactly what I'm saying!
Yeah, he could just assume that, like, that it is Remnant.
Right, well, the fact that he doesn't know is exactly what I'm saying. That's why his plan could not have been 100% successful. Because... And it wasn't, like, again, I emphasize, in a canonical piece of media, it was not successful.
Yeah. If only Henry had read Fazbear Frights before he did his plan, bro.
Dang it, if only he had known.
I think there's a possibility of two perspectives. I think it's possible, if this is one of the bigger games, and we are going like in different areas searching for Cassie and all that, what if we could be playing as Michael or Vanessa, one of the two, and Gregory?
See, this is actually something I propose. The idea is like you have three characters actually going down, Michael, Vanessa, and Gregory. And it's I also thought of a cool potential game idea. The idea that's like, well, you know how in Grand Theft Auto 5 you switch between like playable characters essentially based off of what task you're doing? You could do that. Although I don't know how like horror that, but that would be
it's just something I thought about. Like in terms of like if it was multiple perspectives, it would make sense a little bit because you would cover more ground and you would try to
Yes.
search for Cassie and more areas that are opened. Maybe might even play as the third person, which is Cassie.
It could be kind of like there's one Resident Evil game that's kind of similar in a way. It's Resident Evil Revelations 2, where basically there's two different perspectives. One is two characters when there was like a zombie or like monster attack, and then there's another perspective. Like there's 4 chapters in the game, and there's 2 parts to each chapter. One from that perspective, and another one from 2 characters going to try to rescue those characters months later, long after the first part of each chapter has happened. So like you go from this character Claire, her perspective when she was getting attacked, and then you switch to Barry's perspective and he is going there to save his daughter. So it's like it could be kind of like that, where it's like you're playing as the character that needs to be rescued, and then you go from there and then you switch over to the character who is trying to rescue them.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Isn't there something similar to that with like the original Resident Evil 2 and 3?
No, it's just like 2 different campaigns for 2 different
Yeah,
characters.
but it's still taking place at the same time.
Kind of.
The phrase "orange is the new blue."
Yeah.
Guess what color the scooper room is in Sister Location, and guess what color it is in Ruin.
Red?
Chicken jockey!
That's a great
It's
color,
not-
yeah.
I mean, it's basically orange.
Yeah.
So like the scooping room is like it's kind of like that's like the foretaste into Abyss. The idea that like Sister Location now looks more orangey than like how it did in Sister Look the game.
Yeah.
More orangey, they say.
I wonder if the implication is that like the modern stuff is literally meant to be mimicking Sister Location in a way.
Yeah.
Why so?
I mean, just like that there is a scooping room, the fact that there's animatronics with storage tanks in their stomachs and mimicking capabilities in some situations. Like, I think just in general, like,
I mean,
there's some
maybe
Sister
maybe thematically, but I don't think that has really a joy list.
Yeah, I just mean
universe
like
explanation.
like we've been talking about how like there's a lot of Sister Location stuff in the modern era, so it might just be like it's probably intentional to some capacity, and that just might be like what he's alluding to.
You guys think the Fazbear Frights Mpreg is gonna come up again?
We were actually talking about that earlier.
Guys,
I mean, to be fair,
Impreg, Mike.
I think the point of that was just to say that the malicious Afton-esque code from the VR game was going to get a new body. I think that's what that was alluding to. But I think it was just
Or
saying that
something
Glitch Trap would become
alluding-
Burn Trap. That's what that was hinting at. That's how I
A
interpret
birth
it.
trap.
It's the end of it's
I don't
the
know
end of
about that.
Abyss. It's the end of Abyss, and Michael Afton gives birth to a Springtrap.
You're so right.
Oh no, my own
That's what-
father.
That's the
Ew.
next FNaF era. The next FNaF era is them dealing with baby Springtrap. That's a new villain. We've been going for 2.5 hours now. I have no idea how I'm going to edit this. I might do multiple parts.
remember that race that we did all those years ago?
Yeah.
That we never finished. Did you ever upload the other part? Wait, you
did.
did.
I did,
Wait,
yeah.
that's right. You did. Like a year later.
Yeah, I did.
Hopefully, this isn't that.
No, this won't
Yeah.
be
You might just you have like a little bit of time. I want to get all of it out before Abyss comes out.
Yes,
You have a little bit of time. Just a very small window. You have probably like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like just so small.
Unless it's Secret of the Mimic Halloween DLC coming out in 2
Hour
days.
Oh, what?
Why the hell would even happen in a fucking Halloween pumpkin carving?
Fall Fest.
Full fest.
I don't
Yes.
fucking
All fast,
know.
yes, I know, but carving pumpkins.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes. 5
They would have
minutes
showed a
at-
trailer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Shadow drops.
Oh yeah, we're going to shadow drop a Secret of the Mimic, and here's a pumpkin carving of your pumpkin contest with it along with it. Yeah.
What was that? What was
so
that?
perfectly timed. That was so perfectly timed.
I have no idea. I just wanted to just like, oh yeah, I got the pumpkin carving contest. Yeah.
Boom.
Well, I think we've covered pretty much everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
now.
we covered
For
so
now,
much that
yeah.
we covered so much that we stopped talking about Abyss.
Yeah. That's gonna be so a clip.
What the
Yeah.
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 It's just a Krakoa soundboard.
Good luck editing. If you want, I can help edit one. No, never mind. I have college. I'm not doing that.
I have university, bro. I'm right there with
You have what?
you. I have university. I am right there with you.
Oh, you are nice.
Yeah.
Where are you
Just
going?
high
I'm
school.
kidding. Don't tell that. Don't say that. I'm
I mean,
joking.
I don't care about telling you. I would just cut it out.
No, I know you're recording.
I could just cut
Can
it
you
out.
can you also give me your credit card info front and back, please?
Yeah, one
We are
second.
talking about your car
Alright.
insurance as well.
Also need your social security number, and I'll need the address to your house.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we need to get some social security and some your home address. Yeah,
It's 5.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just 5.
That's the answer to all of your
It's
questions.
just fine. It's
No!
five. Yeah.
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 I think I'm gonna head out now.
All right.
All right.
See you later.
Good discussion. I will post you guys on the internet later.
Awesome.
in,
Thank you.
in like a week or two. In
My
like
yeah.
or in a week and 2. Both.
Go
All
by
right.
2 years
There you go.
later.
Hey, maybe we'll get more Leon Riskin stuff.
Maybe. Okay. See ya.
Probably.
See you later.
Why did I just physically
No.
wave in real life when my camera's not on? What the fuck am I doing?
Girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye guys. Y'all.